What's cracking, guys? In this video, we're gonna talk about a question that I get a lot. Should I focus on acquisitions or dispositions? Hey, so you are wanting to know whether or not you should focus on acquisitions or dispositions. And before I get to that, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel and also like this video because I'm not gonna continue talking unless you do. Okay, so you did it. Thank you so much. You unfroze me. I hate it when that happens. Oh my gosh, and you guys keep freezing me because you're not subscribing to this channel and you're not liking my videos because I can see there's like 500 views or 1,000 views or whatever and like 30 likes. What's wrong with you guys? Anyways, so you want to know if you should focus on acquisitions or dispositions, and here's something I want you to try to understand. You are always focusing on both, right? Here's the thing that we tend to forget as wholesalers is that when we are doing acquisitions, right? Guess what we're doing? We're buying something, right? We're buying something. But when we're doing dispositions, we're selling that same deal. Now, when you're working with other wholesalers or you're working with investors in this space, at any given time, you can be both on the acquisition side or the disposition side. I mean, I am always looking to buy houses and I'm always looking to sell houses. So feeling like you're only focusing on one thing, if you feel right now that, oh my God, I've been doing all my focus on acquisitions and I've done no focus on dispositions, then you are absolutely that guy at the gym who only does bench presses. Okay? You can't be that person. You need to focus on your upper body and your lower body, so it's just as important to focus on your acquisitions as well as your dispositions. However, don't have fear because this is where squatting up is the most important thing you can do. If you love talking to sellers, say you're like Pace Morby and you just have this amazing natural gift to pick up the phone and have a random conversation with somebody and get them to sell you their house. Incredible. And that's all you want to wake up and do every day. You don't care about buyers, you don't care about investors, you don't care about understanding renovations or what is entailed in renovations. You just want to do the thing where you get to talk to sellers all day. And if that's the case, then leverage a dispo wholesaler or leverage somebody who's strong in dispositions, someone who has a great list of buyers, and utilize their services to help you sell your deal. Why is that important? Well, when people focus on dispositions, they make relationships with those buyers. Now, when you make a relationship with a buyer, you might be able to actually get top dollar out of that buyer because you know exactly what their criteria or what criteria they're looking for in a deal. For instance, we have very, very strong relationships with all of our buyers. And I know some of these buyers are rental buyers and they might pay a little bit more than, say, a fix and flip buyer can pay because the fix and flip buyer needs more margins for renovations. And so I can adjust my prices accordingly. And that's what I'm allowed to do because I have these relationships with my buyers. And that's what makes us very strong at dispositions at Keegley. However, even though we're very strong at dispositions at Keegley, we're also doing acquisitions all the time because we're having conversations with wholesalers to bring deals in. We're having conversations with real estate agents to bring deals in. We're having conversations with homeowners to bring deals in. And so at any given point, again, I just want to stress this, when you are doing dispositions, you are also doing acquisitions. Never put yourself in a box where you're just like, this is the only thing I do. Always understand that we are always buyers and sellers in this game, and it's important for you to know that. It's important for you to embody that. Now, I want to dispel a myth that I've heard propagated online over and over again is that, hey, if I get a good enough deal, the money will find me. That's not real. Okay, that does not work in the real world. You can have amazing deals under contract, and I can tell you this because I talked to thousands of people in my coaching program where they go out and they lock up an amazing opportunity and then nobody buys it because their list sucks, they're not marketing correctly, and they were told from somebody that if they had a good enough deal, the money would find them, and now they've got a deal and the money is not knocking on the door. This is a real world, right? People have to see what you have available, otherwise they're not gonna know it's available. And so you have to be talented at marketing. You have to be talented at finding buyers. You gotta get their contact information. You gotta know who's real. You gotta know who's a tire kicker. You have to understand what are the structures or what things do I have to have in place in order to make sure I'm keeping a buyer in the escrow all the way to the closing table and that they'll show up on closing day and actually perform. These are important things, and as a disposition specialist, you want to develop your capacities in those respects so that you're actually closing more deals than you are not, right? Because as we all know, when you do this business consistently, what ends up happening is you'll have a lot of deals that you'll have under contract, but not all of them are gonna actually make it to the finish line. A lot of work goes on in between the escrow of a deal in order to get that deal across the line. And that's what someone who's very talented at dispositions can help you do. do. So if you do have that problem in your life where you are locking up contracts and you've been canceling them, reach out to me individually on my socials. You'll see them pop up over here on IG at jdamji. You can also email me at Jamil, Jamil at Keyglee. That's KEYGLEE.com. Jamil at Keyglee.com. If you have a deal in a market that we're in, I'll forward you to one of our franchises and we will absolutely help you either with the numbers or help you with, as a buyer, or find a buyer for you. And I'm happy to do that. But please do not subscribe to the notion that when you have a good deal that buyers will just knock down your door. They do not. They do not knock down your door if they do not know who you are. I am known as the one individual who holds probably the majority of the inventory here in Arizona, and I still have to market. Okay? I still have to market. My team still has to send out an email a couple times a day. We still have to text people all day long because nobody cares. Nobody cares to come find me, and nobody is a mind reader, and they don't understand that I just locked up the most amazing deal in the world. So please don't subscribe to that thought process. It's not true. And whoever's telling you that hasn't done enough deals in order to give you that advice. So also pay attention to who's giving you advice, because that's super important. Now, you want to decide whether or not you're going to focus on acquisitions and focus on dispositions. Here's where a telltale sign on what you should be looking at in yourself to decide which of these two to do. So again, as I'd mentioned earlier, if you're the kind of person that loves having those random conversations with people where the newness of a new conversation or a new person is exciting to you, the hunt, the thrill of the chase, you know, really just getting into the field and seeing what you're looking for, finding a way to solve a problem for a seller, getting that problem solved, and then negotiating that deal so your numbers make amazing sense, and then locking up that contract. If that is just like what gets you up in the morning and makes you super excited, then you're an acquisition specialist. If you are the kind of person who really just doesn't like having new relationships with people, if you're the kind of person that is like a serial relationship person, right? You love your friends, or you like constantly just have like a small group of folks that you're really, really interested in and that are a part of your life, but like new friends are scary to you, then being in the relationship business of dispositions could be for you. You see, as a disposition specialist, what I can tell you we learned was that these relationships with buyers are what are going to keep you in business. During the initial parts of the COVID-19 pandemic in early March of 2020, our relationships with our buyers are the reasons why our doors stayed open. We didn't let go of a single staff member. In fact, everybody was working. We were doing business at about 66% capacity, which for the most part during COVID was phenomenal, right? So we were continuing to sell. And who were our buyers at that time? Our relationships, our key people that we had built relationships with solidly over years and years and years. Those were the people who were there for us when we needed contracts to be sold. Of course, the numbers were shifting and things were moving around, but our buyers saved our butts at that time. And that's why we were able to be as successful to come out the other end of that with a lot of inventory and a lot of opportunities available. And so we had the confidence to continue locking up deals because our buyers were buying them. And that is the most amazing part of having great relationships with your buyers. So if you are a relationship person and you're really not interested in having like, you know, new conversations with like new random people every single day, then maybe dispositions is where you're going to be. Do yourself the favor of being self-analytical and understanding what kind of person am I? What do I gravitate towards? What kind of energy is exciting to me? And then make the decision accordingly. But never paint yourself into a box, because we're always really doing both. Guys, if you got any value out of that, do me a favor, hit the like button and also subscribe and leave me a comment, because again, remember, my children, they laugh at me when I have no comments on these videos because they're like, Dad, look, no one's watching. So please don't let them say that. See you in the next one.